In this session, we talk about exterior door installation done right the first time. Before beginning the installation, check the doors for damage. Report any damage to the superintendent immediately. Do not install damaged doors if the damage is such that the door will later need to be replaced. Check the rough openings to confirm they are sized correctly. The rough opening should be 2 inches wider and 2.5 inches taller than the call-out of the door size. And check for level on the concrete sill area. If the sill is out of level, it will need to be shimmed to provide a plumb, level, and square installation. And also check that the walls are in plane. The handing of the door swing should be noted on the floor by an orange arc painted on the floor. If it is not, check on the plans. The delivered doors should also conform with the markings on the floor. Add shims to the hinge side of the rough opening to plumb the door and to center the door in the opening. Place the shims on the trimmer so they will be behind the hinges on the door. Clean the concrete floor where the door will sit prior to installing the sealant at the sill. Remove any packing and shipping materials from the door that will be in the way of the door installation. Apply a continuous bead of sealant to the floor and the sill area as shown in the video. This is to keep air and water from getting in under the door. Apply a 3/8 inch bead of compatible sealant to the back side of the brick mold to create a watertight seal. Set the door in place from the outside, making sure the door sill is fully seated in the sealant. Push the exterior trim firmly against the framing on the sides and the top. Hold the door in place and check the reveals inside. They should be equal and consistent. Check for plumb and level. Shim the frame to make the frame plumb and level. The door should also close against the stops equally at the top and at the bottom. Adjust the door so the reveals are equal and the door meets the stops equally at the top and the bottom. Check that the bored holes for the handset and deadbolt are lined up with the door and the door jamb. Install 3.5 inch hot-dipped finish nails through the brick mold in the 4 corners of the exterior frame. Do not nail the middle of the exterior trim until the door jamb has been adjusted and fastened. From the interior, place shims on the strike side between the door frame and the rough opening at the top, the middle, and the bottom. The shim at the strike plate should be 2 feet long. Nail the strike side of the door jamb at the shims. 1 nail at the top, 1 nail on either side of the strike, and 1 at the bottom. Check the reveals and shim or adjust to create equal reveals all around the door. On the hinge side of the door, use the long screws provided with the door to drive a screw through the hinge in the holes closest to the door stop, toward the center of the door jamb. These longer screws should go into framing. Set a screw at the top, the middle, and the bottom hinge. Add screws to fill in all of the holes of the hinges. Once again, check the reveals from the inside. Shim and adjust to create equal reveals. Check that the door meets the stop on the strike side equally at the top and at the bottom, and that the bored holes for the deadbolt and handset line up with the door and the jamb. Once the door is set plumb, level, and square, install the middle nails in the brick mold on the outside and set all of the nails for the painters. Finally, check the door for proper operation. Leave the rubber band protectors on the hinge knuckles until after the drywall. Garage passage door installation from the garage to the interior of the home is similar to the exterior doors with the addition of the security alarm wire, and that the interior of the door frame is flush with the interior drywall. The alarm wire sensor needs to be drilled out in the strike side of the door jamb at the height where the wire is located in the rough framing. Drill a hole in the jamb and place the sensor in the hole. Place any extra wire out of the way into the area between the door jamb and the rough framing. Remove all personal trash and construction debris according to the trash agreement. This is how we do it. Sealant placed at the door sill to prevent water intrusion. Doors set plumb, level, and square. reveals equal all around the door. Shims behind all jamb fasteners. Long hinge screws into framing. Do it right the first time and everybody wins.